Whoa! My name is Pat Dempsey, four-time world long drive champion and member of the Hall of Fame. If you want to be a long driver, I want to teach you. Maybe one day you'll be a world champion. I've got another power tip for you here. Everybody knows the faster you turn your hips, the more club head speed you're going to have. But how do you do it? What happens in regular golf, the weight of your arms and the shaft and the head is somewhat heavy, but you try to turn them smoothly and your hips will only go as fast as you ask them to with the weight of the club. So I want to show you an example. I'm going to take the weight off of the club and notice my arms and shaft are going way ahead of my hips. Here's the funny thing about it. If I ask my hips to speed up and match that speed, now regular golfers only swing about 9 miles an hour. Touring pros swing 11 miles an hour and long drive professionals swing 13 miles an hour a turn. If we can increase that by a quarter or a half a mile an hour, you're going to pick up a tremendous amount of speed and power. So next episode, I will show you the device that I use to obtain that speed in my hips. Here's a little something that you can do at the house or at the office or outside in the backyard. This is a heavy club. And what I want to do is I want to create some strength in my hands so I swing the heavy club, but you know it's heavy and it's slower. We're trying to create speed. Now keep in mind, all these illustrations, I'm saying you get to your left side and then we're talking about hip speed from there. This is going to build strength, but it's going to slow you down. But make sure you get to your left side and then swing as fast as you can. That is only good when you finish off with the light, quick club. Remember, get to your left side first, here, and then boom. Keep turning those hips as fast as you can, left side and going. And as long as you incorporate the heavy, strong with the fast and speedy swing, then we're going to be perfect. Soon in this video, I'll take you over to my office over here and I'll show you how to do it at your home or your office, how to rotate your body away from the golf ball and create all that speed in your office. I want to talk about ball flight. For a long drive guy, most people get caught up in trying to hit a power draw. In my opinion, it's the hardest shot to hit when you're competing and swinging as hard as you can. And everyone thinks that the power draw goes the furthest, but I don't think so. And neither would a 5-time, 6-time, 7-time, I lost track, world champion Jason Zubak. I watched him personally win 5 open titles with a power fade. When you're trying to swing as hard as you can, a lot of times a straight ball or a fade is the most efficient shot you can hit. Like I said, I've been there many times. Trying to stay behind the golf ball and create a draw is very difficult. Now it depends on what type of fade. So in the next shot, we're going to show you some different ball flights, but I want you to start thinking straight. Therefore, the grid is what? 70, 80 yards wide. If you're aiming straight and you hit slightly to the right, a fade, you're in bounds. Slightly to the left, you're in bounds. And based on how clean that ball flight is, which we'll talk about too, but let's think about that. I don't necessarily want you thinking you have to hit high, powerful draws to get maximum distance. Now at some point, you gotta pick a ball flight. And in long drive, most people think that hitting a big draw is the longest ball you can hit. Well, Jason Zubak would beg to differ from you. The greatest long driver ever. I saw him win 5 open titles with a power fade. Now in long drive, everybody knows that you have to stay behind the golf ball in a power draw. When you're trying to hit it as hard as you can, sometimes that's very difficult to do. So I want to illustrate from that view. When I'm turning away from the golf ball and I'm trying to hit it as hard, I have to hit the inside part of that golf ball and drive it up and out and turn it over. Very similar to this. Now that is a high draw. I had to come in and attack the inside part of the golf ball. My favorite, and if I had to teach you, I would teach you to hit a straight ball. The grid is 80 yards wide. So if you hit it straight and accidentally fade it 5 yards to the right or to the left, you're still in play and you've hit a great ball. Now, I want to get lined up. I still have to hit slightly, but I'm not coming in this direction. I'm coming more from the back of the ball to hit it straight, which I'll illustrate right here. And that ball went straight. So if I accidentally push it or pull it a little bit, I'm good. Now here's the interesting thing about long drive. Like I said, Jason Zubak won 5 world titles hitting a power fade, and he did it very efficiently and very clean. He'd set his body slightly open, and he would start the ball down the left side of the grid. But in a power situation, when you're trying to put all your strength in it, you'll have a tendency not to want to stay behind it like a draw, and you'll probably end up coming out over the ball a little bit more, which is going to create a fade bias shot. There was many years when I lived on a fade. I'm aiming down the left side of the grid, and then now I hit a power fade. Sometimes it's easier to allow your body to cover the ball in a big power, fast move, boom, as opposed to trying to stay behind it and hit the draw. I hope that helps, and we'll show you the illustrations of each shot. So this is a great understanding and exercise when you're in your office or at your home. What you need is a flat wall, and I want to demonstrate how you turn away from the golf ball. Get in a golf position where your butt is on this wall. Pretend like this is a wall here. When you take the club back, I want you to leave your butt on the wall and turn this direction. I don't want this. I don't want your butt to slide down the wall. I want it to stay on that wall. And when you're in your back position, then slide your butt down the wall, leaving your hips closed, and then releasing the club over here. I'll do it. One more illustration here. I roll, slide, and then release. You'll be amazed how when you keep the butt on the wall and let it roll, you're turning and you'll feel the stretch on the left side. Slide down the wall and then release. I'll show you from this angle where you can see I'm in my golf posture. Remember, don't allow your butt to slip down that wall there. Don't let it go that way. Leave it on that wall, turn, then let it slide as you get into your left position and come up off the wall in that fashion. Back, slide, turn as hard as you can and release the club. That will be very helpful, and you could do that in your office or at your home. So this is the illustration how when you're at home, let's pretend this is a wall, or you're at the office. I'm going to teach you how to turn away from the golf ball. So I'm going to put my butt against the wall here and get in my golf posture. This is the important part. My butt cheek is on that wall. When I turn away, I turn my butt cheek down the wall. I do not let it slide when I'm taking the club back like this. I want your butt cheek to stay on the wall, turn away, and then slide down the wall and release those hips as hard as you can. Let me show you again. Both butt cheeks on the wall. You turn away, you see how I'm rolling down that wall. slide from there to get on my left side, and then I release the hips as hard as I can. That's gonna be very helpful. You're gonna feel the stretch when you turn properly. Remember, I don't want you to turn where your butt is sliding down that wall. On that wall, turn, fully turn, slide down, and release those hips as hard as you want, and you're gonna be hitting it far and long.